set 2 cups on the table every night.
Welcome back to Road to Omaha After Dark. I am your host, Brian. So I got Jacob with us. Ryan may join later. We will see. We just got back from fishing. And welcome back to our third official episode of Road to Omaha After Dark. We apologize for the week-long absence. I have been dealing with wisdom teeth surgery recovery, so I've been doing that. I've also been fishing a lot, so I've been fairly busy. As well as just busy doing other things. Um, but we're
And since
back
we are
now.
so behind on everything, we're going to go over the rest of the regionals and the super regionals, as well as going over the CWS bracket that we already have set up.
And we got all the matchups for the College World Series are already out, so we will go over that, and then we will go over our predictions of who is going to win the national championship. All righty, and with that out of the way, and actually, one more thing. We would like to thank George Arbuckle for kindly allowing us to use his song 6 Feet Below in our videos, in our intro and outro music. We thank him for his kindness in allowing him to use or allowing us to use his music. And on with the video. Jacob, where do we begin?
Sunday, May 31st. Let's go over the teams that got eliminated. Okay.
All right.
Coastal, what happened to y'all?
Well, I feel like this was a mix of a lot of things. Okay, Coastal, the last month and a half of the season, they had a lot of different things going on with in terms of speculation of what was going to happen with Kevin Schnall and his job. And what ended up happening was that ended up being confirmed. Kevin Schnall ended up getting hired by South Carolina as of a few hours ago, actually. So Coastal's going to have to go looking for a new coach. Um, that and also just their offense fell off towards the end of the season, and they were just not the same team down the stretch. They looked like the favorites to win the Sun Belt. Unfortunately, though, they did not win the Sun Belt. Neither did Southern Miss, matter of fact. It ended up being Troy, who is now a College World Series team, which we'll get to soon. But Coastal, I think it was just a case of they just ran out of gas, and the fact that the head coach was getting poached by other programs definitely did not help that clubhouse. But Coastal, I also just don't think that they had the depth this year to make another Omaha run. Good luck to Kevin Schnall at South Carolina, but that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. But
Wake
moving on,
Forest.
Wake Forest, they have
Y'all
good
were one of
arms.
the best teams in baseball 3 years ago.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot can change in 3 years. Then
Yeah.
the thing with Wake Forest, what I've noticed, especially over the last 3 seasons, is they always have really good arms. Like they had a lot of good arms this year. They don't have hitting. They haven't had hitting for quite some time. So they've been locked to always get eliminated in the regionals the last few years, and um, the thing with that is, I think it's just consistency. Wake Forest has a consistency issue, but you also got to remember, getting to the College World Series is a very difficult thing to do, and a lot of teams, like Troy, for example, making their first trip to the College World Series this year. West Virginia making their first trip to the College World Series this year. Georgia hadn't been in the College World Series since like 2008. Um, they hadn't won a national championship since 1990. Matter of fact, fun fact with Georgia, they were the first SEC team to win a national championship for baseball. But moving on from Wake Forest,
Miami.
they have no pitching. They lost 22-10. I feel like that's fairly self-explanatory, if you ask me.
Wait, in which game? 22 to
Versus
10.
versus Florida.
Oh, yeah. VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University.
They were put into a hellish regional. You got North Carolina, East Carolina, and Tennessee all in the same regional. They did beat Tennessee, so you got to give them credit for that. Tennessee, they ran out of gas in the regional. Um, but they also were stuck in the same bracket with East Carolina and North Carolina, which East Carolina is what I like to call a bracket buster. They're always a team that can take a regional and make it to a super regional. East Carolina always is a very consistent team. Um, and obviously North Carolina, they're in Omaha. Matter of fact, they're the only ACC team to make it past um, to make it past the regionals, if I'm remembering correctly. So, that's fairly self-explanatory on the state of the ACC right now because Georgia Tech,
We'll get into that
we'll
later.
get to Georgia Tech in a second.
We got to go down a list.
Which, but VCU, they just got put in a hellish regional.
Boston College.
I think for Boston College, they just didn't have the same type of talent as the rest of their conference, as well as the rest of the teams in the field. They weren't super battle tested. Not too much to say about Boston College, honestly.
What about the Citadel?
Um, Not much to say about the Citadel. They
I
went
mean,
over
for
and
their
two.
standards, this is pretty much a CWS championship win. So
At this point, yeah, it's like, oh gosh. Anyways, moving on.
Northeastern.
They tried. They tried.
Well,
Uh, that's the case with a lot of these teams. Is they tried.
you're damn right you are, and you're damn right they tried.
They tried so hard.
Congratulations, y'all tried so damn hard.
I feel bad for the teams that get eliminated, but it's just part of the game, unfortunately. Moving on.
And we are really damn upset that Tarleton State lost.
We are upset that Charleston State lost, but you know what? They had a hell of a season.
Yeah,
First, first NCAA tournament appearance in their history as a Division One team. They've only been Division One for a couple of years, so gotta give them props for making it all the way to the tournament for one of their first seasons being eligible.
Northern Illinois.
They were almost a bracket buster. They actually didn't do too bad in the tournament. They surprised me a little bit.
Oh, and here we go with a ranked team, Nebraska. What happened to y'all?
Ooh, Nebraska. Okay. I'll put it plainly. Their strength of schedule kind of screwed them because they play in the Big Ten, and you know how bad of a conference the Big Ten is.
Big Ten shows its true colors in the playoffs. May and June, you know how it is with the Big Ten teams.
And honestly, the problem with Nebraska is, I mean, one, they had Ole Miss in their regional, okay, and Ole Miss is insanely good. Ole Miss is in Omaha, okay. Ole Miss is clutch. They have a lot of depth that Nebraska just did not have. Ole Miss had better arms that Nebraska did not have, and they had better hitting that Nebraska just did not have. Nebraska was outclassed by both Arizona State and Ole Miss.
SC Upstate.
I don't know too much about them, honestly.
Cincinnati.
Not awful this year, especially for Big 12
Big
standards.
12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That brings the cherry on top. You create losers again. Loses to St. Mary's. Y'all had 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. Y'all are playing way too far in. That costed y'all. That error costed y'all. I think UCLA might as well close their entire campus because of this. They shouldn't even be a school anymore. This is the biggest disgrace in all of sports. All sports in America, Canada, France, China, Australia, South Africa, Argentina. Yeah, in all sorts, in middle school sports, elementary school sports, pee wee, little league, college, D1, D2, D3, JUCO, all the professional sports in all the countries. This is the biggest joke in all of sports in the history of this planet.
Hold on, time out real quick. There we go.
Okay. Um, Virginia.
They had a big fall off towards the end of the year. They
They
they ran
collapsed.
they ran out of gas.
They collapsed at the wrong time. Washington State. I don't really know much about Washington State.
I don't either. They're a Big
Texas
Ten team.
State.
Slam Marcos. They didn't have pitching. That's what got them done. They did
What
not
about
have pitching.
Liberty?
Liberty was not bad. They were nearly a bracket bust.
East Carolina.
They have good pitching. They've got great pitching depth. Had a lot of clutch performances, and they've got
So they
uh
they went somewhat far.
they got good timely hitting. Yeah, no, East Carolina's a good. They're always really good. East Carolina.
Florida. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Y'all did Gainesville dirty. I'm sorry,
what a
Florida.
waste!
What a
Waste of an 8 seed.
that's absolute bullcrap. You cannot do that.
Oh my. Oh my goodness. They
Like, what are y'all trying to do? Play with blindfolds on?
absolutely screwed the other
Play
teams in
drunk?
front
I
of
don't
them.
know. They're probably playing dizzy bad at the plate. Like, what's happening with them?
Honestly, if you ask me, Oregon probably deserved that 8 seed more than they did.
Because
Because
how do you score 11 runs and still lose?
it's called not having pitching, unfortunately.
Yes,
That
17 hits ain't gonna do it.
no, just I mean Florida. Come on, what are we doing? Y'all had one of the most talented rosters in
Guys,
the country.
y'all barely scored any runs. Y'all scored 11 runs. Y'all gotta score more than that. Y'all didn't have any offense. Like, what are y'all doing? 11
Well,
runs?
I mean that's supposed to be for the viewers. He's being sarcastic. He's trying to make a comment on how bad the pitching was because in any normal circumstance, right? 11 runs should be more than enough to win you a game.
You cannot lose a game giving up 11 runs.
Or
When they're not giving up 11 runs, scoring 11 runs.
I 100% agree. If you're losing a game while scoring 11 runs, your pitching sucks. Okay. And Florida had a really good pitching staff this year. So it surprised me that they got lit up like they did. But at the same time, I don't think their pitching depth was the problem. They always have good arms, but they always reuse the same ones over and over again.
So Kentucky pretty much blew the series against West Virginia. On to Kentucky next.
West Virginia's offense is crazy, though. Holy cow.
West
Oh
Virginia
my
is doing
gosh.
a lot of things that we don't really expect West Virginia to do.
I predicted
They've
West
been
Virginia to be in the College World Series back in March.
UCF.
Too inconsistent. They can never put a full run together. They've been like that the entire year, falling in and out of the rankings constantly. It's just UCF doing UCF crap.
What about Santa Barbara?
Great pitching staff, not a great offense.
Arkansas. What?
Ooh, Arkansas.
The SEC tournament runner-up, and y'all can't even make it out of the.
Well,
Oh my!
to be completely fair to them, they got stuck in a regional with a Kansas team that almost made Omaha. But that Kansas team also, as soon as they played OU, got absolutely smoked. The main issue with Arkansas all year long is that they had no pitching. Their pitching sucks this year. It was terrible, and it's what cost them here.
And the Razorlacks definitely underperformed. That's for sure. What an
Insane.
embarrassment for the
Yeah.
Arkansas Razorbacks. How do you get that far in the most stacked baseball conference in all of college to be runner up? And y'all can't even.
They couldn't even get out of Lawrence.
That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Well, their pitching has been embarrassing all year. They gave up 26 runs in a game earlier this year. 26. Keep in mind, they scored like 17 runs, I think. If you're scoring 17 runs and still losing the game, you need to burn the entire pitching staff down. Not literally, not the players. That's not at all what I'm saying. But you gotta completely reevaluate what your program is because holy cow, what are we doing?
Oklahoma State loses a pretty brutal one.
Oh, they got stuck in a tough regional.
Yeah, they did have Alabama. So Louisiana made it further than we all expected.
Oh, the Raging Cajuns?
Yup.
Yeah, they did about what I expected them to do.
Yeah, UL, for their standards, they did really well. They beat my Tigers.
Tigers.
But that's a different story. Arizona State.
Oh, they played Ole Miss so tough, both those games.
That
They played Arizona
they
State's
they
got a
made
good
it a
team.
nail biter.
Arizona State's legit. They got a legit pitching staff. Their bullpen has a ton of depth, and their offense is really their offense is plate discipline. I'll give them that. Very well disciplined, well rounded team. Arizona State's a good team, and they're going to be a good team for a while.
Okay, Oregon State. We
Um,
expected y'all to get further than that.
they got screwed because their starting pitch, their number one Dax Whitney blew his elbow out, so that's why
Yup.
they didn't get to host a regional. Um, even though Oregon State was in the top 10 basically the entire year. They got screwed because Dax Whitney's because of Dax Whitney's injury, and the committee said, "Okay, cool. Dax Whitney's hurt. You get to be stuck in your rivals regional."
One player gone is going to ruin your whole season. It's not like a starting quarterback. It's not like your best player on the basketball team. No. Y'all gotta have better pitching than that. If you were winning all those games. One of
Well, they
your
got
pitchers was carrying you.
well, yeah, because Dax Whitney led the country in strikeouts and he threw over 100 miles an hour. The dude was ridiculous. He was a cheat code.
Okay. Jacksonville State.
Great team. They beat Auburn twice, which I mean, take that as you will, because Auburn just got swept in their own super regional. But Jacksonville State's legit. They got a great offense, and their pitching is really good. So, give give a ton of props
Yeah, Jacksonville State did pretty well.
to Jacksonville State. Yeah, they did really well this season.
And more UCLA ruins, bullying. St. Mary's.
St. Mary's had a great run, but Cal Poly, it was Cal Poly that they lost to in that regional, correct?
I think UCLA playing worse made St. Mary's run more dominant than it should have been.
Well,
That was
issue.
pathetic.
I don't know. UCLA just. Well, they
Struggle
play.
win after you lost, and then y'all got a struggle win, and then y'all lost. The Big Ten needs to be investigated. The UCLA baseball team needs to be investigated. The whole school needs to be investigated. This
UCLA.
is something they should never get over. Never. And I doubt they will ever get over that. That was pathetic. Never seen anything like it in sports. But
I don't know, man.
let's forget about that disgrace that happened in LA. Let's move on to Florida State.
Waste of a 10 seed, if I do say so myself.
But not as bad as the nincompoop-orama that was going on at UCLA's stadium. Georgia Tech's not that far behind, but still. Let's go over Georgia Tech.
Yo, Georgia Tech is
Oklahoma?
so. OU, I was not expecting to get hot the way they did because they've been perpetually mid the entire season.
How did LSU beat y'all in the first round of the SEC tournament? And y'all still go to the CWS? And y'all still beat Georgia Tech?
I've been telling you this, Jacob. Baseball is the most, any given day sport in any of the collegiate sports. It's
Mm-hmm.
so insanely unpredictable. I mean,
Milwaukee.
almost beating Auburn in their own regional was crazy. They also kind of exposed Auburn's flaws.
Yeah, they kind of did.
And then obviously those flaws were shown full force whenever they got swept in their own super regional versus Ole Miss.
And for these regionals, to top it off, let's go over Bryant's favorite game of the whole regionals tournament. Texas A&M. The Laggies lose to USC. They were up 1 run, and then their bullpen came in and 3 runs in the 7th, 2 runs in the 8th.
So
They
what?
drew a loss from a win.
It's a lot more complicated than that. We had a lot of things that went wrong in that
Bullpen,
regional. Yeah.
and then those Instagram posts by one of the players' moms.
Oh yeah, no. Travis Chestnut's mom freaking basically called out Michael early in her Instagram post, which is so stupid that she would even do something like that. I had a whole rant about that in the Lost episode, which what that is we tried filming this episode a couple of days ago, but it got so unserious that we had to basically put it in the archives. That's why it's called the Lost episode. But the issue with A&M in that regional was um Aiden Sims got hurt before the regional began, so we were down a pitcher. Half the guys in our bullpen had ERAs over 5. We had one of the worst pitching coaches in the country in Jason Kelly, who did get fired. Um, and our offense, which had been prolific the entire year, decided to go quiet at quite literally the
Like
worst
Sadeo?
possible time. Oh, he has an ERA close to 7. And he was our Friday guy for a
Oh
while.
my gosh.
He was
But
terrible this season.
Forget about the regionals though. Let's go to super regionals.
Oh, okay. Here we go. I'll start with it. Auburn getting swept by Ole Miss. I kind of saw coming. Ole Miss had been on a heater. Ole Miss had that clutch factor that other SEC teams did not have all season long. Ole Miss's pitching has been really good the entire tournament, and their timely hitting, I will say, is probably the best in the conference, aside from like Georgia. Um, Auburn could not hit with runners on. They couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. Their pitching wasn't even that bad either, which is so sad because Auburn's pitching was actually really good in the super regionals, but holy cow, their offense could not hit with runners on base. That's what got them swept.
And we are having Cinderella teams pretty much making Auburn show their flaws for a trip to Disney World. Like, it was insane that they were making them do that in the regionals. They were like doing that for ransom.
I know.
Little Rock, what a run!
What a run by Little Rock. I got to give it to them. And then they ran into Troy, who Troy was, they were hyped up on the fact they were hosting their own super regional for the first time in program history. They were in their first super regional in program history. Both teams looking for their first trips to Omaha. And Troy, it was just the case that Troy just wanted it more.
Yeah, like,
And
how does that? How are they hosting a super regional all of a sudden? Troy,
because a lot of the top national states got eliminated in their own regionals.
exactly. Cal
One,
Poly,
Cal Poly, oh, their pitching got lit up. Oh, oh, oh.
17-1 in the elimination game.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I've been saying this. West Virginia's offense is crazy good. And they're also the only Big 12 representative in this year's tournament. Or not tournament, in the College World Series this year.
And the last day of super regionals, let's go to Mississippi State. I think they kind of fell off a little bit.
Oh, no, they did not. Mississippi State's offense was so
Well,
good.
silly me. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about then.
I'll tell you what, Mississippi State's offense has been good the entire year, but their pitching is what lost in the series versus Georgia. And at the same time as well, they had seen Georgia, and Georgia had seen them 6 times this year because
I think, yeah, Georgia was just a better team.
Georgia's just, that was the case. Georgia was the better team, and obviously Georgia has that insanely prolific offense. I mean, they've got guys Colby Branch, Trey Phillips, Daniel Jackson, who's probably going to win the Golden Spikes Award. And then they got guys out of that bullpen like Matt Scott, freaking Caden Aoki, Justin Bird, freaking Justin Big Bird. I mean, oh my goodness,
Oh, no.
that guy is a clutch, one of the most clutch relievers in the country. Ice in his veins. Even though I'm an Aggie, I'm a massive Justin Bird fanboy. Love me some Justin Bird, super clutch guy. But Georgia was just the better team. Georgia's been the better team all year long. Georgia is my favorite, honestly, to win the national championship. Other than Ole Miss, who's my personal pick, is Ole Miss.
USC.
USC's pitching is what kept them in this tournament because their offense is, I wouldn't say mediocre. They're slightly above average. But when you're playing a juggernaut like North Carolina, you're going to need to be better than slightly above average. But their pitching kept them in the entire 3-game set. I think part of why North Carolina lost game 1 was because North Carolina was so caught off guard by USC's pitching staff, which is legit. They have a good pitch. USC had a legit pitching staff all year long. They're a good team. But
St.
North
John's.
outclassed in talent all the way around.
They kind of.
I mean, they got fed a terrible matchup with Alabama. That they got put into the buzzsaw very fast.
Kansas.
The talent gap between Kansas and OU was crazy.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
bad.
Oklahoma. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, you're gonna a 6-run second inning, a 4-run sixth inning,
Ugh,
4 hits for the Jayhawks that game.
that's
You're not gonna get many places with that.
if you can't move base, it's what I always tell the viewers: if you can't move base runners, you're not going to score runs. It's what ends up happening.
And last super regional team to advance, the Texas Longhorns, who tried to blow that game against Oregon, but guess what? Oregon found a way to draw a loss from a win. So Texas ended up winning that game.
I hate that Texas is in the freaking College World Series. Ugh, makes me so mad.
And let's get on to what y'all have all been waiting for, the College World Series. Let's go over these first matchups.
Let me pull them up real quick. Also, we apologize for the rushed nature of this episode. Since we are trying to get it out before the College World Series begins, we're gonna have way better in-depth analysis of the College World Series games whenever they actually get played, and the episodes will be much longer. But we've been busy this summer, I'll tell you what. So let me pull up the matchups. I remember most of them off the top of my dome, like West Virginia and Troy are playing, and there's Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Bama, I think.
Bama and Oklahoma.
Bama and Oklahoma are playing. Okay.
Okay. Troy and West Virginia.
I got West Virginia. Their
Yeah,
offense
me
is
too.
insane.
The way they've just been
They've just
they've
been
been on
mashing the ball.
fire
They've been seeing
lately.
the ball well.
They absolutely have.
Got to give it to West
Ole Miss and
Virginia.
North
They've been really
Carolina.
good.
I
Hmm.
think Ole Miss could put up a bit of a fight because how well their bullpen has been.
Ole Miss is clutch. Ole Miss is
Ole Miss
very
is
clutch.
clutch. They've been
But
clutch at the right times.
that timely hitting. But North Carolina, the one thing that can win them this game and what could prevent Ole Miss from winning that game, North Carolina's pitching staff is insanely good. Probably
So
one of
this
the best
could be
pitching
a bit
staffs
of
in the.
a bullpen. This could be a bit of a pitching duel.
Yeah, it could be.
But
It very well could be because Hunter Elliott, I'll tell you what, he's played on this stage before. Back in 2022, he won the national championship with the Rebels as a freshman. Now he's a fifth-year senior coming back to Omaha. So, Hunter Elliott, I have a feeling he's going to have another clutch performance in Omaha for Ole Miss. But anything could happen, honestly.
yeah,
This is one
anything
of
can
those
happen.
things. Omaha is so random. Like I said, college baseball and Omaha in particular are like the most um any
Baseball in
given day.
general.
Indeed. Just any given day.
Let's go on to the Oklahoma Alabama matchup.
This might be kind of a hot take. I got Oklahoma winning that game because Oklahoma's
I gotta go a little bit more predictable and pick Alabama.
okay, but hear me out.
Oklahoma's just pretty inconsistent this year.
Well,
Um,
uh, yeah, here, continue.
they did make it far, but I don't know Alabama. I just
Well,
feel like the Oklahoma just feel like they've been playing teams that have just been playing so poorly.
Oklahoma, I
Because
mean, they're
really,
more
yeah,
okay, here's my thing with Oklahoma, right? They're more battle tested than Alabama in this tournament. I mean, Alabama's got cupcakes basically
yeah.
through their well minus Oklahoma State who gave them hell, but I mean they played St. John's in their super regional, right? I mean, and then Oklahoma, I mean they had to play Kansas, tougher opponent. They had to beat the number 2 team in the country at the number 2 team in the country in Georgia Tech in that regional. Um, I've got OU winning that game. They're way more battle tested. They're ready to go.
I
I
gotta
feel
pick
like
Alabama, but even though it will be a pretty good matchup, I feel like.
that's a game that could probably swing either way, but we will we'll just have to see what happens when the game gets played.
And this will be a pretty tough one. Georgia and Texas.
I got Georgia winning that game.
I think Georgia, I don't know. Georgia just feel like they've kind of stayed in one place the whole season. Texas has just been on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off.
The thing that I don't like about Texas is how inconsistent their offense is, as well as the fact that, you know, Georgia is also battle tested. I would not consider Texas to be battle tested. They played Oregon in their super regional. Georgia had a much tougher super regional as they played Mississippi State, who absolutely took them down to the wire in both of those games. Both of those games were thrillers, by the way. If y'all haven't watched the highlights of those games, go watch those. Home run derby, both of those games. But the thing that's going to get Texas far is their pitching staff, right? Okay, they got Ruger Riojas. I think Luke. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but him. And then they got guys in their bullpen like Brent Crosslands, Sam Cozart. All they got tons of big arms and coming out of that bullpen. It's going to be for Texas. It's going to be pitching or die for them, right? Because their offense is very much
Yeah,
their
I think
offense
the
is so hit or miss.
Longhorns are going to be in a little bit of jeopardy, it seems like. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Texas in any sport really is a team that wins many championships. So they kind of, you know,
We'll just have to see what
it's.
happens with that game.
And that looks like it's all the rounds.
We will go over our more in-depth predictions and analysis this weekend when the College World Series begins. We are all exhausted, but we were able to get this video out for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, quick little video. And once again, thank y'all for watching and subscribing and being patient with us as we figure out the podcasting and posting process, and as we get out content, through our busy lives. And once again, another thank you to George Arbuckle for providing music for this video. And with that out of the way, we say so long from Road to Omaha.
Oh my.
I still set 2 cups on the table every night.